Hi, everybody, it's Nick. This is I guess, a reality check on this is what life is really like in lockdown as a mum with three kids, effectively being homeschooled. So I got up at 5:30. I get up at 5:30 most days. I do naturally wake then. I'm quite lucky like that. I am a lark. And it's quite important for me to have that time because everybody else gets up at around 8, and in that time between 5:30 and 8, that gives me a chance to really just get on top of myself, so I let the dogs out, I have a cup of tea, I'll probably swap the washing over, and I do my writing, my messaging to people, any vlogs I'm doing, because it's the only time of the day where I can really have quiet space, where I'm not, worrying about having to be somewhere or do something for someone. And it's the thing about writing and, having thoughts and stuff. You really do need that kind of quiet, still time. So that's what I do, and that's actually one of my favourite parts of the day, and I do really like it. I love, watching the day come to fruition, I suppose. And then things get a bit more chaotic from about 8 because everybody gets up. So, it's hit the shower, everybody has breakfast, and then Nick, my husband, goes to work, and I take the kids out. So we always leave. I'm really strict on this because I think, the minute you start missing it one day, or, pushing it 10 minutes or 10 minutes or 10 minutes before you know it's run away with you. So we always leave the house at 9 a.m. each morning. And we have 4 dogs, so they need to go out anyway. What we tend to do is day one, or one day, we'll go a long walk down the river, maybe 8 to 10k, play with the dogs down the river, have a bit of fun, and then come home. And day 2, we'll do a shorter, maybe 6 or 7k, but it's not a run, it's more of a jog, and we'll go for a jog to keep our fitness up, basically. And then we come home, and the kids get themselves organised. We generally get home, I guess, around, between 10:30 and 11. So the kids get themselves organised, and they actually start their school day, their academic day, at 11. And then I'm usually then, so what have I done this morning? So I get in, I do more washing, I go out and clean the garden up, clean all the dog poo up, hang the washing out. This morning I then came in the granny flat because we've got 3 ducklings, and for anybody that has ducks, they're really, really messy, which is fine when they're outside, but when the ducklings are actually in a crate in our granny flat, so every other day they need completely cleaning out, and their crate disinfecting, because otherwise they just stink the place out. It's quite disgusting. But they will, they would just freeze to death at the minute if we put them outside because their feathers aren't fully developed. So I did that. Then we're a family of 5 in the house all the time, so there's a lot to be done. There's a lot of rubbish to sort out and a lot of recycling, so we're big recyclers, so I try and recycle what we can. So I emptied the bins and also did some recycling and cleaned some bins, and then went to the bottle bank, and then also had to pop to the shop because we were low on bread and milk. And then the other big thing was I hadn't realised the rain was coming in on Saturday night. It really caught me out, so I didn't bring any of the cushions and the beds and God knows what in. So I've just been trying over the last couple of days just to get stuff dry. I had a washing line, a full washing line out when the storm came in here Saturday night, chucked it down with rain. I've got an outside day bed, I've got outside chairs, outside sofas, God knows what, everything was just soaking. So that was a big project this morning, just trying to, I've got a drying room outside where I was just trying to swap things over and get on top of getting stuff dry so it doesn't get mouldy and wet. And then it was time to cook the kids' lunch, because that's the big thing. When there's 5 of you at home, it's not just doing one meal in the evening. You need to do lunch, and it's quite a long day for them, and they've been out for like 2 hours in the morning, so they do get hungry. So then we stop and we had lunch, and then the kids actually they do a lot of the cleaning up after. If I cook, they'll clean up. So they cleaned it up, which meant that gave me time to bring in a whole stack of washing and sort the clean washing out, which everybody then takes and puts away. And then honestly, the downstairs of the house just looked like a complete shithole because, you know, there's 5 of us in a cottage, a small cottage, and 4 dogs. So if you don't kind of keep on, and normally, you know, there wouldn't be 5 of us here all day, there would just be me. So, you know, normally half an hour each day, quick hoover and mop. And then, you know, our beautiful cleaner Judith comes for 6 hours a week. It's not something that takes massive amount of my time, but it does at the minute. So, you know, after putting on the washing around, I'm like, right, okay. So, honestly, the downstairs was really bad. So it must have taken me half an hour to hoover everywhere downstairs. There's just so much dog hair and mud and crap. And then mop through and then give the bathroom a quick clean over because, God, I can't bear bathrooms that smell of wee. It just really, really bothers me. Did that, and then, God, I'm trying to think about, you know, then did some more washing. I've actually looked at the ironing pile and decided to look away because it's about the size that I am. And it's now, what time is it? I don't know, it's about 2:30 now. The kids have just gone back to their afternoon session for school. So they'll work for another hour and a half doing their schoolwork. And then, oh yeah, bloody printer. So we've got an old printer and changed ink cartridges. Of course, it's not working and you have to do all the nozzle cleaning and everything. It takes about an hour. The kids need it to print off the schoolwork. So I'm just sat in the granny flat now waiting for the printer to clean off. You maybe have heard it in the background. Then the kids will do a PE session when they finish. It'll be something easy today. Maybe just a bit of yoga. Maybe they'll just do a bit of trampolining. I don't know, because they did a run this morning. And then we do a review at the end of the day. So we just go through the schoolwork that they've done. I mean, I'm really lucky that my kids are of an age where they can pretty much get on and do their own work. Thank God. They do get stuck on some stuff and they'll come and ask for help. But because there's 3 of them, they can kind of help each other. Particularly as George, my eldest, he's like really super duper good at maths. So there's not, you know, if Harry, my middle one, gets stuck, George has already done it because he's a year ahead of him. And if George gets stuck, he just watches a video on YouTube and he usually gets it. It's a good job because I wasn't. And then, you know, it'll be time to cook dinner. I'm sure there'll be another wash that I need to take out. And, you know, I'm laid here thinking, I'm really knackered. I need half an hour just to stop and just to pause and get my breath. And really, you know, I should be thinking about writing an article or writing a chapter of the book that I've been writing forever and still haven't managed to start. And I just don't think I'll get around to it. Or I should be putting, you know, God knows you probably see behind me, of the 30,000 dresses and stuff that I've got there, putting loads of stuff on eBay because obviously I've got a credit card bill I can't pay again this month. And I might not get around to any of that. And I might literally just sit down for half an hour now before it's time to start again on the other stuff that needs doing. And that is the reality. That is the reality when there are a lot of people in the house all of the time, that the kids are being homeschooled. You know, the days just run away with you, and trying to carve out any meaningful time to do work is really, really hard. I mean, I was really blessed when I was able to have support, because the only way I could actually carve out a few hours a day to write and do stuff is by having support and not having to do so much. And for anybody who might be listening thinking, oh, what's her husband doing? Well, actually, he's working really hard and he's working really long hours, and he cooks. If I'm too tired, he cooks nearly every single night because he knows that I'm a morning person, not a night person. He's definitely not a morning person at all, but he's a night person, so he's okay in the evening. So Nick absolutely helps out whenever I need help. But the reality is, you know, he's got he has a big job to do. And I'm just thinking, you know, for all of those parents out there that are trying to juggle this and don't have the luxury which I have, which is actually to say, oh fuck it, I'm too knackered and I've run out of time. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that I've run out of time, but actually it's not a difference between whether the bill's going to get paid or the food going to go on the table. Mine is frustration. For a lot of people, it's you know, it's whether they're going to keep the job or not, or it's whether they're going to be able to pay the bills. And I guess I just wanted to say, it is hard. And if you do get a chance to relax and read a book and have a nap or whatever, you shouldn't feel guilty. You should do it, because being in lockdown with homeschooling kids and all of the additional domestic chores that go with it is not fucking easy by any stretch of the imagination. And for anybody out there who's, you know, following Instagram and all of these wonderful people living the dream, putting all the sparkly stuff out there, well, you know, really good for them, but it's not all sparkly. And please don't get feeling inadequate that you're not you know, living this sparkly, beautiful life, because I think if you can just get through the days in one piece, you're doing pretty well. Okay, that's it. You're doing pretty well. So just don't stress. Just don't stress about the shiny shit, because really I can't fit in right now. And, you know, I don't think most people can. So just do whatever it is you need to do to get through the day. Yeah, lots of love. Take care. Bye.